Good morning, everybody. Today is March 9th, Monday, 2020. And today we had a historic moment again. The stock market opened minus like 1,500 points, and New York Stock Exchange actually had to put the brakes on the trading and hold the trading for some time before investors could cool down and kind of like rationalize their trades and rethink their positions to make more cool down trades, because frankly the panic is grabbing this market, and frankly people don't know what to do, because the forces that drive the market are really kind of like out of people's hands at this point. However, there's actually a new catalyst for the stock market decline, and this is Mr. Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. So what happened was that coronavirus made everybody scared, and nobody wants to travel. First of all, you take a plane, you might be sitting with somebody who is infected, and with coronavirus being highly contagious, there's a good chance you might pick it up from somebody who is sitting next to you, maybe even a few rows away from you, because you're sitting in a closed airspace with air conditioning, basically exchanging air among passengers. So the second thing is, as we all know, a lot of conferences were canceled. For example, South by Southwest, the latest one, Google one, then Facebook, a huge conference, and this happens all over the world actually. And obviously, especially in America, because America loves to have this type of big gatherings in the spring of each year. So the bottom line is, people are not flying. People don't want to drive long distances to travel, because they don't want to get in physical contact with new people, especially with a lot of people. So obviously, the less people travel, the less they fly, drive, well, that's pretty much it. But the less they do these things, the less gasoline they burn, and obviously the demand for oil drops. And because of that, if you went to the pump, you probably saw that the prices for gasoline are declining. And especially you could see that in California, where our gas prices sometimes would hit even like $5 a gallon. Now they're like $3.50 or something, but they probably are low today. So, but the main thing is that because there's a much less demand for oil, and actually in China they suddenly saw a big environmental improvement, because people don't travel that much. They sit at home, they work from home. The factories, a lot of them are shut down, so they are not burning oil, and they have a drop for energy consumption. But the oil producing countries are actually suffering, like OPEC and Russia, because it's another major producer of oil, but it's not a member of OPEC. So OPEC called Russia and called a couple of other countries, but mainly Russia, because it's not a member of OPEC, and they said, look, we need to stabilize the prices for our oil, otherwise people are going to get used to cheap oil, and we don't want them to do this. They don't care that we have an epidemic and people kind of like are suffering. A lot of people might be losing jobs. They don't care about that. They just want their money. So they said, how about this? How about we're going to cut the production of oil by 1.5 to 2 million barrels a day. and then hopefully it's going to stabilize the prices. But Mr. Putin said, you know what, I need my money. I don't want to sell less or produce and sell less oil. I'm money hungry dude, and I need this, you know, for the handful of guys in Russia that control, you know, the oil, and they've been getting rich from it. You know, they're money hungry, and so they said, no, I don't want to cut my production. So basically the negotiations failed, and nobody agreed to cut the production. So what Saudis did, you know, because they you know, have a high temper and kind of like want to I guess react to this thing, so they said, okay, if you don't want to cut the production, we will actually increase our production, and instead of cutting the production of oil, we're going to increase the production of oil by 2 more barrels of oil per day. And guess what? As soon as that happened, oil collapsed 30% in one day, and now it's being traded at $30 per gallon. I mean, $30 per barrel. And a lot of people are saying that it will actually go to $20 per barrel. And this is great news for consumers and for businesses, and basically for everybody except for people that run oil companies. So, and guess what? Apparently the benefit of the majority doesn't matter. It's that suffering minority that suddenly is more important. And guess what happens? The stock market collapses. It drags down the prices of not just oil companies, everybody. Just because some oil dude's gonna make less money selling the oil they didn't make, you know, the oil they discovered in the, you know, inside of the earth, and they just pumping this thing, you know, cleaning it up and selling as a gasoline, you know. So they start to cry and say, we're not gonna make that much money anymore, and this is terrible, and blah 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 blah, like we discovered coronavirus number 2. So, and guess what? The market actually listened to this bullshit and sold off, saying, oh my God, we have another negative news for the stock market. And you know, we had a shutdown, the shutdown of trading on New York Stock Exchange. So the market is going down. You better bet on it that continue to go down, because we have no cure and no vaccine for coronavirus. Oil is collapsing. So you should go to the website 2stx.com, where you could download, install, and run my app on your iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV, and it will give you buy and mainly sell recommendations for 5,500 stocks updated daily. So thank you for your time. Stay safe, stay healthy, and good luck trading.